So the topic of today's sermon is not worth it. I want to tell 3 short stories from the Buddha's age and then give you a conclusion. There was a story of an arahant named Jakuban. He was a blind arahant. Now, certain things happened and his story got put before the Buddha, and the Buddha told his story of how he became blind. In a previous life, he was a physician, a doctor, and he was treating a lady who desperately needed help with her vision. She was so poor though that she didn't have money to pay. So she said, if you heal me, I promise that me and my children will be your servants for life. And so he started treating her and healing her. She got better, she got a lot better. And he would ask her, are you better yet? And she would lie and say no, because she was afraid that she would have to actually become a servant. So she started lying. She started saying she got worse. It got worse, even though her eyesight was getting better. Well, the doctor knew, he could tell. So what he ended up doing was he gave her medicine that would make her blind if she took it. So he asked her, are you sure you're not better? Are you sure you can't see? And she says, yeah, I can't see. Well, take this medicine then, and it will make you better. And so she took it, and she became permanently blind. Because of that karma, in the following lives, he was blind for so many more of his lives. Up to the last life, when he was an arahant, he was still blind. Then we talk about the story of the farmer, where a bunch of thieves robbed the villagers and came and divided the money at the farm and left one bag. Well, a farmer found it, took it back home, and when the villagers came looking for the money, they found the farmer and they beat him up. The farmer felt bad, he apologized, and after getting beat up, he thought his karma was over. Well, he got dragged in front of the king, and the king told him that he would have to be executed. So him and his family were sad, and they got dragged to almost get executed, but lucky for him, the Buddha saved him in time. Then there's another story of a lady in a past life who was born very pretty face, but with the hunched back. And the question was why? Why did this happen to her? Well, same thing. In a past life, she had an opportunity to meet an arahant Pisuni, which is a female monk. However, when she saw her, instead of paying respect, she says, hey, old lady, come comb my hair. And the Pisuni thought about it. He said, well, if I say no, she might create a lot more bad karma. But if I do it for her, she will receive negative karma in the future. So after weighing the two out, she decided to just comb her hair. So the arahant combed her hair, and in the future, she ended up being very physically deformed. What do these 3 stories teach us? In every one of these stories, some feeling came up in each person. Whether it was the doctor and the feeling of revenge and justice, where you lied to me, you tricked me, and I need to get you back. Revenge. In the second story, the farmer sees the money. Greed. In the third story, ego, where the lady sees another old lady and says, service me. In all 3 of these cases, a feeling came up. And as human beings, we want to satisfy that feeling. So we do. And the pleasure that you get is very temporary. Look at the pleasure that they got. The pleasure that the doctor got was, I got you back, you liar. The pleasure that the farmer got was, wow, free money. The pleasure that the lady got was, yeah, I have the power, you do what I want you to do. But in each of these cases, look what happened. The long-term repercussions were very scary. For one person, he was blind for hundreds and hundreds of lives, not years, but lives. In another case, he got beat up, he got dragged to the king, got embarrassed in front of the whole kingdom, and got scared of getting executed. In another case, she ended up being reborn as a servant with a hunched back, social outcast. So as you can see, each one of the short-term pleasures is not really worth the long-term pain. And so it's our job as practicing Buddhists to pay attention to how often we sacrifice our short-term and we end up losing in the long term. But smart people will sacrifice the short term in order to gain in the long term. That's why we are here today, to do good, to learn, to practice, to improve. And it's difficult. It's a journey. But when we do this, we end up getting huge results in the future. Just like the Buddha, he spent countless lives training himself. And in the end, 2,600 years later, we still praise him. We still follow his example, and we still respect him. Would you rather be like that? Or would you rather be the blind monk? Would you rather be the hunchback lady? Or would you rather be the farmer who's getting punished for his crimes? It's your choice. Short term or long term. It's all your choice.